Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crypto News Podcast. We are buzzing as always. Bit of a different background today. I'm at my parents' place just outside of Toronto. They're living the dream, traveling. They were in Croatia. Now they're in the Amalfi Coast in Italy. And they got a nice crib. So, they got a pool, they got a hot tub. It's nice being here. It's nice being in nature away from downtown. But we are not in the regular setup. So if you guys are wondering, that is why. But we have a guest who's coming on the show today. He's coming in hot for round 2. First time he's on the show. He absolutely brought the noise. We talked about the legendary Burnt Banksy story. You can call him two things. You can call him Burnt or you can call him Anthony. Rumor on the streets is that his driver's license is actually Burnt and not Anthony, which is pretty darn cool.
I've considered that, by the way. I want to let you know. That's not that far off. I've definitely considered that.
It's like a Ron Artest to meta world peace moment. I love that. But time for the quick intro. Anthony Anzalone, also known as Burnt Banksy, is the CEO and founder of XION, the first L1 blockchain purpose-built for consumer adoption by abstracting away the complexities of crypto. You guys already know everything that they do, so that is it for the intro. Burnt, welcome to the show, my friend. Pumped to have you on. You, my friend, are from South Florida, one of the best places on the planet to live. And your Florida Panthers just kicked the living shit out of my Toronto Maple Leafs. We lost again. How bad was that, dude?
It was, I felt bad. I mean, and it was like, I think it was like our third lineman. Like, it was the Lundell line, which is everyone did everything.
You can't, just in the playoffs, the big boys have to show up, and another year of our big boys not showing up. You guys are just so much more physical. You guys are built for playoff hockey.
It's a fun game to watch. It's always fun to watch the Panthers, I will say.
It is. That is, hockey is still a sport. I'm biased. I'm Canadian. I used to play hockey. Hockey is my favorite sport, but I'm surprised Americans don't love it as much because, again, you guys do like your violence probably a little more than most, and
totally.
Hockey is the most violent by a mile of the big four sports in North America. It's just, there's two main reasons. Reason number one is the cost to get in. It's so bloody expensive. It costs thousands of dollars. You cannot play if you're poor, whereas with basketball, football, baseball, you can do that. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And secondly is the rules, where the rules are a little complex. It's like American football, where if you don't know it, it's tough to get into.
It's kind of like soccer, but we also, to be fair, like our version, at least when I say South Florida, is like lacrosse, which is effectively the same exact thing as hockey.
On grass,
but on grass.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things too, which is people just don't really know either. Like, I mean, I grew up in South Florida, and so it's like the South Florida Panthers, or the Florida Panthers were always like my team, and I actually grew up like not. My cousins grew probably 5 minutes away from that stadium.
Yeah.
And actually, it was funny. I went to high school. I think he plays for what's Ovion? What team is Ovion?
Caps.
He's on the Cap. My buddy, literally went to middle school with him. Jacob Chikrin now plays on that team.
Oh, and it was nasty.
Yeah, dude, he's great. And it's so cool to see that guy grow. But damn, I just doxed myself way more than I ever have in my entire life. But so I kind of grew up with that, and it's one of those things that people don't really know. And it's funny, the thing that always sells people is that on if you're playing NHL, the video game, there's a separate controller page just for fighting.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, good old days. Heck, we could shoot the shit about hockey for the whole pod, but this is a crypto pod. Let's jump into it. Just for a quick recap, on last episode, you talked about a lot of the things, and you and I recorded, I think 9 months ago. I want to say it was summer of last year, but when we recorded, you talked about a couple things in particular, one being just sort of mainstream blockchain adoption and how we still need an L1 that is scalable and will be ready for mass adoption, which we still don't really have. Maybe you could say Solana is that one. There's incredible teams like you guys. You have Sui who are building these blockchains for mass adoption, but there's still a lack of utility on that. We'll get into all these things, but I guess just to kick it off, give a quick intro for the listeners who perhaps didn't catch the first epi, and what you guys built and shipped between the last time and present day, mid to late May 2025.
Yeah, damn. I mean, a lot. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, we launched mainnet, 60,000 daily active users to 100,000 daily active users. 250,000 weekly active, about 1 million monthly active. We have the highest DAU to market cap ratio, working with brands like Uber, Amazon, BMW, Lacoste, 150 more. Hyper-localized growth strategy, start with houses in APAC, Nigeria, India, Brazil, Argentina. The $12 million Thrive program out there. One of our main projects, Earn OS, raised $5 million. About 50 projects live on testnet right now. Dude, I mean, HTX listing, Anchorage, eigenlayer work, zk-TLS. I mean, dude, the shit goes on and on. We could talk to you for the whole hour and just the shit that's changed, but it's fucking great. Like, I've been in this industry for a while, and it's nice to be like, I think it's different when you have like shit moves so fast in this industry, where it's interesting to be like, oh yeah, remember those things that we said we were gonna do? Coming back like however many months later, it's like, yeah, we actually fucking blew that out of the water, which is a great feeling to have, and I'm glad we could be on this podcast, because it's like cool scenery, like same,
Yeah.
and we hit it. Like, not even did we hit it, but like we just fucking blew past it.
No, you guys crushed it. I love that.
Thank you, man.
One of the, again, I follow you on Twitter. I think you're a great Twitter follow. What happened on April 1st? Because I still, and this, my apologies, I didn't do enough research here, but you guys went mega viral with like some NYSE listing of some sort.
Oh, yeah. No, that wasn't a joke.
That's what I mean, but like it wasn't a joke, and then everyone on Twitter was like, "What the hell are these guys doing?" Like, he just photoshopped himself on the NYSE.
Dude, we
like,
do that every year.
What went down
year,
there?
every April 1st, we do huge news. Literally, last April 1st, we announced a $25 million fundraise, and this one, we were the first MiCA-compliant L1 blockchain and spoke on the New York Stock Exchange for it. Dude, it's the best day to give like real news, because they're like, especially like really important real news. It's so much fucking fun.
Yeah,
it's so much fun, because everyone's just like, "Are you fucking with me?"
That's hilarious. So how did you guys get on the NYSE? Like, what was that?
That was like, I will say that the stars on that did align really well, quite honestly. Like, we had been kind of in talks with, I believe that was, I don't remember the exact program that it was with, but there's like a couple programs that do like speak at the New York Stock Exchange. There's like Schwab, but there's a couple of these. But one of them we were talking to for quite some time, and like we had this date actually, and we were about a week out, and like they weren't that excited about it. They're like, yeah, we kind of have you in this date. They're like, slow to answer. And they're like, we didn't really have a topic to talk about, but like once we introduced, so like, hey, actually, like the day before is when we get the approval to actually talk about this. Maybe this is something that'll be great. And like instantly they started responding to every message, and it was like, and honestly, it was a really good conversation, but very, very lucky, quite honestly, with the date and time. We just happened to, we knew the MiCA stuff would come out at that time, but didn't expect the platform to be able to be there, so we could, share it on the New York Stock Exchange.
That was wild, man. I love that. Okay, let's take a step back here. And again, for the listeners who didn't catch it, so many L1s 2 years ago. It was all about L2s. Like, go back to 2023, It was like, heck, there was even L3s. Like, I remember I had a slew of guests, I think, because, two epis a week in the Crypto News pod. I think in like, I want to say August of 2023, dude, I think I had 3 L3s on the pod in 1 month.
Really?
Yeah, which was like,
Hell
again,
yeah.
that's when I was like, okay, what's going on here? Like, our L3's a thing. Fast forward to today. I mean, it's sort of tough. It's like, there's going to be the big L1s and, a couple of L2s that crush it, and everyone else is toast. It's just what's going to happen. How do you explain not so much what an L1 is, but why you guys are building another L1? Like, you must get asked this all the time, right? And
all the time.
And if you could, I hate asking my guests this, but if you could answer this question rather burnt, as if someone doesn't really understand crypto, like, how do you tell them, like, okay, Bitcoin is sort of a beast of its own, then you have like the ETHs, you have the souls. Where do you guys fit in this whole, parade of crypto L1s?
Yeah, I mean, there's for someone who doesn't really know much about this, I would say alongside. And there was a big time in crypto where people thought that Ethereum was going to be the only one. Like, that was it. Like, it was going to be ETH, and ETH was going to be winner take all. And then Solana came in, and Solana kind of disproved that. And they're just like, actually, this is. You guys lost your ability to have a winner-take-all market. We're past that.
Yep.
Now you have serious competitors, and you look at, and then the Nears and the Swees and the, tons of L1s came because that thesis was proven of like, hey, they can be more than one. And now we're at a point in the industry where not only can there be more than one, there's going to be thousands. And you're going to have people who specialize, and you're going to have people who focus. Because now, back in when this conversation was originally happening, 2 blockchains couldn't talk to each other. Once the ability for blockchains to talk to each other came out, it was like, oh shit. Like, now instead of optimizing for a 1, it's why like, we could talk to each other. Great. Like, you're going to have people who specialize in certain things, and some people, like people on Hyperliquid, going to focus on DeFi, or Injective going to focus on DeFi, and then which is actually an L3, but Hyperliquid's an L3. But it's like at a certain point, it also doesn't really fucking matter. Like that was my main takeaway from like the questions, and like people would be like, "Are you an L1? Are you an L2? Are you a middleware?" It's like it doesn't fucking matter. Like I could be like whatever you want, baby. Like
Yeah. No, it's true. The only time it really matters, in my opinion, is like when it comes to fundraising. Because
exactly,
you can get put in that other bucket of like, okay, well, an L1 has the total addressable market of X, Y, or Z, and L2, ABC, so on and so forth. But like
exactly.
otherwise, as long as it does what you want it to do, like who really gives a shit, you know?
That was. I mean, and I think it really depends because the narrative was quite fluid, and I will say that the reason we built an L1 was because we had to. I really didn't want to, quite honestly.
Yeah, it's a shit show building up, and
It's
like you
terrible.
could present day you could crank out a pretty good L2 in probably like
Like
six
and you
weeks.
raise that like
Yeah,
and like L2s were also the hype narrative. So you were
yeah,
raising more money as an L2. I've been in this industry for a very long time, and like there are narratives that are good. Like we would pretty much created the chain abstraction narrative when that existed.
yeah.
Like narratives are consumer, like whatever you want to kind of call it, but like narratives are really good. But if you change your underlying based off of narratives, that's bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I knew we would always be an L1, and I knew exactly what we did because that was what we needed to do to achieve our vision. But I remember, people would always ask, like, oh, why not raise an L2? Like, and it was just L3. So it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, well said. Institutional validation, another huge
Yeah.
point here, and I
Love
love.
validation. Big fan of validation.
No, but I also love that you talked about this like 9 months ago, the last time we were on. I'm pretty sure I have to go back to the actual transcript because I didn't put this in the show notes, but I did have a little line that you wrote about institutional validation. And that I'm pretty sure you called it there would be a lot of micro ETFs that aren't just like your Bitcoin and your ETH ETF. There's going to be the Sol, there's going to be a SUI, there's going to be a Zion ETF, there's going to be all of those. How important is it present day to literally have that institutional adoption and validation? Because it seems like it's just such an easy leg up
It's getting
to
easier.
get. It's super easy nowadays, and I feel like it matters more than ever. And the other thing too is
It's just money. Quite honestly, at this point, it's just money. Like I could
I
give you the quote. I know how much it costs. It's that's the only reason why people don't do it. It's like it's probably about $1 million if you want to do it.
really,
That's it. Yeah. I mean, it's not like not to say that that's it, but
yeah, yeah,
like it's now it's like gone to the level where it's like the reason we're gonna get more and we're gonna see more is it's like a listing in a way, right? Like
true,
the listing prices will go down, like unless like there's gonna be like the blue chip ones, like that'll probably go up. But like, yeah, it's actually like probably about $1 million.
So this is like the 2-3 years ago of just being listed on Binance or Coinbase or
Yep.
Huobi or gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
Because and again, I'm sure you guys are cooking at a crazy pace. You guys are always in the kitchen. But when I think about the institutional adoption, I think of like, okay, Solana ETFs, like surely it's priced in.
Mm-hmm.
The Ethereum ETFs, surely that's helped ETH's current rise from the dumps to not a bad, a pretty appeasing price right now. Bitcoin, it's like, okay, the Bitcoin pretty wild. We can also see the outflows as well, but where would Bitcoin be if not for the ETF? So now it's like you sort of have to think about as the institutions come in, and then you have BlackRock with all the different things they're doing, the Biddle Fund, all XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what does this next level of institutional adoption look like? Are we going to see every L1, every prominent chain that has daily active users, DAUs like you guys? Is everyone just going to get an ETF or some type of institutional oomph? You know what I mean there?
Yeah. It depends if you want it. Like, do I think Hyperliquid will get that? I don't think they want it. Right? Like, there's
Right.
going to be projects like I'm gonna give you like Plume, Ondo, Injective that are like, they
Yeah,
win off
yeah.
of the institutional angle. It's like for us, I think validation is one thing, right? But it's like it's one of these things where we're not really focused on BlackRock like tokenizing real estate on our chain.
Exactly.
That's going that's going to happen somewhere else, and that's great. Like I'm very happy for Plumondo Injective. Let's call it that, right? Like that's where I believe that'll happen, and I think that is a testament to the earlier conversation of there's going to be a lot of L1s with a lot of focus, and it doesn't fucking matter. I think that the easier it gets, and the more like you have to understand that also the industry as a whole is getting more legitimized. Like if you remember back, if we would have talked like 2-3 years ago at this
Oh my
time,
God.
it would just be like they're gonna look at us, no fucking way.
Yeah.
Like that part is weirdly like not as priced in as maybe now. Like I think we're probably sitting on 105, but like, yeah, it's weird.
It's completely, yeah. Again, going back to the first thing you said on the pod, it's just a week in crypto is a month or a quarter in regular world. It's absolutely wild. You're on a roll here. We got to take a huge shout out to our sponsor of the show. And rumor on the streets is that you're a big Prime XBT guy as well.
Oh, you're going to talk about Prime XBT? Oh, yeah, big time.
Big Prime XBT guy. What a guest to help me out with the ad read here. Anthony and I love Prime XBT as they offer a robust trading system for both beginners and professional traders. If you're a pro like Burnt or a beginner like me, you can use Prime XBT to fix and make your layouts and widgets look the exact way you like. Prime XBT is also giving a huge promo to listeners of the Crypto News Pod. Use the promo code CryptoNews50 to get 50% of your deposit credited to your trading account. Again, that's huge. CryptoNews50 to get 50% of your deposit credited to your trading account. Now back to the show with Bert. Let's talk about some enterprise adoption success stories. This is one of the things that I love the most about what you guys are doing. I feel like in order for us to go mainstream, we need that one, first and foremost, and I think this is undebatable, but we need that killer consumer app for the developed world. Like right now, you have obviously stable coins for the underdeveloped world, which is the best use case bar none.
Totally.
You have centralized exchanges, which are the onboarding mechanism to crypto. And again, for the most part, yeah, they sort of screw you, and yes, they'll leverage hunt you, but centralized exchanges are incredible products. Like trading on any of the big ones it's pretty damn awesome. Mm-hmm. Those are the two big ones. We don't really have a third right now. And there needs to be that Facebook, Insta, Snapchat, TikTok moment where it's like, damn, if I'm not on this, I'm missing out. We don't have that yet. Mm-hmm. But how we're going to get there is with people like you guys building sick blockchains and with huge partnerships with companies like Uber, Amazon, BMW, Lego. Walk me through some of those partnerships. That's absolutely huge. And walk us through the conversations. I get asked this all the time. What do these convos sound like? I've been in a couple of these, but not to the level you have. What does it sound like when you're speaking with their board or their, emerging tech team or whatever the case may be? What kind of questions are they asking you, being like, hey, why should we partner with a blockchain company?
They don't know we're a blockchain company. That's first and foremost exactly how the conversations go is we're not talking to the blockchain teams. Like we're either talking to the marketing teams, which is like at some of it. It mostly
standard,
or like I was talking to the innovation at L'Oreal, which is really cool. And it's like, that's where like Nike's not going to fucking touch crypto for a while, but like, yeah, we're working with them. But they don't know that we're they don't know that they're operating with a crypto company, and they shouldn't. Probably said the exact same thing with the exact same vocal inflection back in the first podcast, but that's I think we just worked with Uber back when we probably had our first podcast, but like Uber now we have signed contracts coming live. Things are escalating to a level that gets more and more exciting, where it's like instead of just saying, hey, social metrics, blah blah blah, we're now having like this competition with Lyft to like effectively vampire attack Lyft and get people to swap over to Uber, or like a Nike Strava campaign where Nike will pay top Strava users because fucking duh.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, like that's something that we can do, and like it would have taken 2 fucking years had it been non-decentralized, kind of, right?
Yeah.
The only thing we need is Nike's blessing. We don't need them to do a full formal integration into Strava. That's information that we already have via ZKTLS.
You guys take care of that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. So you literally just go, hey, I'm Burnt from XION, and we build really cool tech. And
it's actually not really us. Like our strategy back in the day was to go through like agencies, actually, right? Because think about like mostly marketing agencies, because we're doing creative ways for whether it be onboarding or things like that, right? Like, so it's like the conversation aren't really happening directly through us. Like later in the process, they kind of do, but it's through the mask of like, hey, here's this creative company who thinks that they can do something. People love that. People love new ways, especially if like, we're saving them money at the end of the day. It's like, and it's cool. So yeah, it actually just really fucking awesome.
I love that. I mean, heck, that might even be part of the title, like how to secure partnerships with major brands. Because I mean, not a lot of people talk about that. That's wild. Let's go regulatory landscape here. You guys, I'm pretty sure you're the first L1 to, what's it called? Title II
micro compliant.
You guys the first one to snag that?
Yeah.
Fucking right.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Hell yeah.
What happened? Yeah. What happened there?
We went live. Like, dude, I'm in fucking New York, and I've been in New York this entire time. And so for us, it's like, especially with kind of the last like administration, let's call it, it was very much this like game of whack-a-mole where don't be the mole that gets whacked, effectively, right? And so once we were talking to an exchange actually that kind of mentioned it at first, that are like, hey, like come January 1, like this MiCA Title II stuff is going to come into play, like, and we don't really know what it is. No one really knows what it is. And whenever I hear that, I'm just like, oh, fuck yeah, let's do it. And so we were just like, I don't care. Let's get it done. Let's be the first, because if everyone's standing around here being like, we're going to wait to see what happens, like, no, that's exactly where we thrive.
Interesting. And how hard was it to get? Like, were they...
That was so easy. No, it's just like a white paper publishing, and like it was just working with a couple law firms. Really, like, not too bad. And it's just like kind of following the regulation, like compliance, really.
Do you think it'd be worse than that with all the like horror stories you hear about EU reg and all that? Like a relatively new crypto company.
There are a lot. Like, I know that there was like some stuff with the stablecoin stuff that I think was really difficult for them to like abide by.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that, like, I mean, listen, we're not just a blockchain, but like we are a blockchain at the end of the day, right? We're not custodying assets. Like, that's where I think a lot of the regulation will come in.
Yeah.
Or like, if I'm a stablecoin, I have to have a certain amount of reserves. Like, I believe that was where the difficulty came for USDT. But yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And the long-term play of this, like the long-term benefit, I feel like this is where the proof's in the pudding, and this is where the money, both qualitative and quantitative, just sort of the betterment comes into play long-term, where when you guys are partnering with these major companies and building this incredible tech and apps and platforms for consumers to come use, it's like, heck, there's a couple 100 million people in Europe. If you want access to these people in the EU zone, there's a good chance that you'll need that MiCA compliant badge. Is that sort of how the whole, like, hey, the reason why you wanted to go attack this, was that the reason behind it?
We'll see. I mean, I wanted to do because I wanted to be first, quite fucking honestly. And
gotcha.
But I think that regardless, we're always going to try to be on like the forefront of trying to not get fucked, I guess.
Yeah.
Professionally speaking.
No. Well said. Well said. Okay. Good to know. Two last things on the show that we got to discuss, and we'll start with chain abstraction. And this sort of ties into my like last point, which you've been huge on the last one, which was building a better Web3 for everyone, like actually onboarding the masses. How have you and the team removed those barriers and have allowed the average Joe and Josephine to get in and participate in the Web3 ecosystem, and tie that into like how your whole sort of mega thesis is chain abstraction and making shit easy and seamless? Because right now, and I still talk about this all the time, it's 2025, people are tech savvy as hell. Most of my tech savvy friends who've never touched a crypto wallet would still be shitting bricks to this day. And when I walked them through the process last year, or in Q1, when we had Meme Mania, I onboarded probably dead ass 50 friends. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The first, my day one, my OGs, those guys get a phone call, they get a Zoom call, walk them through it. The ones who I don't speak with that much, that's when it's exactly, you get the copy past. I had a
download a Phantom wallet.
Exactly. I had a Canadian version and I had an American version because Canadians, it's like use BitBuy, Americans use Coinbase, blah blah. Anyways, what has changed, and is the thesis still the same? Is it all about chain abstraction, and is the goal still to onboard billion people to the XION ecosystem?
I think chain abstraction is dead. I think that term is dead because it's hilariously antithetical to itself. Where
interesting,
it's like it's one step below, I believe, where it needs to be, which is if I'm talking to you and you don't know anything about crypto, the last thing that I'm going to tell you is we need to abstract the chain. And you're gonna be like, oh, okay, cool, like
this guy's a loser,
like dope, don't know what that is, already abstracted, like cool. What? Like, yeah. So it's like, it's hilariously like, you got to learn how bad this is to learn how good we're doing. It's like, that's not it, chief, right? And, so it's a step above. And I think this is like the really hardest part about building these last 3 years was hilariously finding a fucking value in crypto, right? And it's this idea where I need to talk to you as someone who doesn't know anything about crypto and be like, this is what it's doing. Fuck everything else. Fuck how bad it is. This is exactly what it's doing. And where I think that that's going to go is believing what you see on the internet for the first time ever. This is something kind of new that we're experimenting with, but it's like when I want to remove all crypto, I need to only talk in terms of value. Because quite honestly, it is a slower, more expensive database that siphons value from Web2 companies. So why the fuck would you want to use it? Like, you probably wouldn't unless you get some sort of benefit out of it.
Yeah.
So something, I think you'll appreciate this. This is an example that I give. This is when I give to like normal people. This is the example that I give, and it's kind of funny and stupid. It's actually very stupid, but it then kind of portrays the entire vision of crypto, and then I guess XION as a whole. But we're working with a breathalyzer company, and so you can go online, take the breathalyzer, and like, let's say you're hammered, and I don't know, what is hammered, like blowing like a 0.3?
No, not 0.3. It's like a 0.08, I think.
0.08.
Yeah.
So 0.3 if you're cool. No, I'm just kidding.
If you're a heavyweight,
if 30% of your blood is alcohol. And so like 0.08, right? And like you blow a 0.09, and you're now able to access a social media platform that you can only log into if you're drunk. And then you go to like the next tab, which is a driving simulator game, but you get a multiplier based off of how drunk you were. Or there's like then you go to another tab, and it's an exchange, but you get a reduced trading fee because you're blowing over a 0.08.
Oh my God.
Right. And so it's like you take this thing that's physical, you do like one time or whatever, and you bring it online. And this is like the actual first time that you've ever really been able to prove on the entire internet something that's happened in the physical world. Now, take that logic and apply it to things that are in the physical world that need to be online. Money, real estate, and now you're getting the art, and now you're getting the idea of crypto. Right. And so it's about taking something physical, bringing it onto the digital world, and then kind of combining these two worlds that forever have been very, very separate.
Combining the digital and physical world.
Yeah.
That is crypto.
That's
Interesting.
crypto.
I guess if you go back to like literally the top of the food chain, that's exactly what's happening with Bitcoin. It's the same shit.
That's same thing, but that's the finance aspect of it.
Yeah.
And there's going to be so much more.
Where's the culture aspect of it?
There's no culture aspect. And I think the culture, like the issue with crypto is that we have so much success in the finance aspect that it bleeds into the culture aspect.
Everything.
And you know how fucking lame it is to try to mix culture and finance? Like, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's true. Wow, you're making my head spin there. So the teams and people who will win, you think will be the ones who perhaps figure out how to not tokenize per se, but bring culture online, turn culture digital.
Even the word tokenize, right? It could be a token, can be a fucking piece of art. It could be a ticket. It could be a meme. It could be something. What was Zora called? It was a fun thing.
Yeah.
Right. It could be a value token. It could be a non-value token. It could be fungible. It could be non-fungible. You could take the non-fungible and then fractionalize that. So tokenizing anything means absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah.
But if you can find a way to actually, this is interesting. I was talking to some Web2 guy. And he was like, it was so interesting. He was building like this real estate platform, like real estate AI thing that like if you had a house, it would effectively like learn what you were doing and like start automating the houses, like schedule the landscaper, like fix repairs. And it was like really, really cool. And he's like, yeah, we wanted to talk to a blockchain company. And like, why the fuck do you want to talk to a blockchain? Like, why the fuck would you want to do this? He's just like, I don't have to run the database. Like now I have a database of all these houses and like we can be the next Zillow. I'm like, whoa, like you just fucking blew my mind there. Like, and you're take it from that context of value to then technical rather than technical to value. And your head starts legitimately spinning about the different possibilities.
And this is why you guys are building XION, because all these endless possibilities that you're speaking of and dreaming of can be done on XION.
Yeah, because imagine if you had to then fucking go to Coinbase and then buy XION or Sol and then transfer it using Wormhole to your Phantom wallet. Like however long your copy paste is, imagine just sending a fucking link. That's it.
Yeah. One click, you're dancing a romance and you're up and ready.
And it's not even like, like I imagine you're sending like people to like 5 different websites too, when you should just use the actual website that you want to use.
I love that. Thesis of the show, main thesis, chain abstraction is dead. That word is being deleted from the Webster's Web3 dictionary.
I think I would love that. I would love it. Chain abstraction is dead.
Hey, there's your title. Burnt Banksy on blending the physical and digital world and how chain abstraction is dead. There we have it.
Easy.
Burnt. You're a gun. Always appreciate you coming on. These
Thank you,
conversations
man.
are so much fun. We got to do this more often. And again, big fans of you and the team, what you guys are building. Really appreciate you coming on. Last thing, where can our listeners find you personally and, of course, XION online and on socials?
Honestly, I would say Twitter. My Twitter is Banksy, at Banksy. And then the Twitter for the company is at @burnt_XION. It's a lot of fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously, and we got a lot of cool shit going on. That's about it.
Amazing. Folks, what an episode with Burnt Banksy, CEO and founder of the one and only XION. Huge shout out to Burnt and the XION team for making this happen. If you guys enjoyed this one, I hope you did. Please do subscribe. It would mean the world to my team. I speak for the team. Love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. And back to the listeners, keep on grilling those bags, keep on staying healthy, wealthy, and happy. And a little shout out to Burnt. Good luck to your Florida Panthers. I hope Edmonton dusts you guys in the finals, but if Florida wins, they are much more fun to watch than Carolina. So
Thank you.
we're cheering for Florida in the finals. But guys, appreciate you listening as always, and we'll see you on the next one. Ciao.